Hari Om, everybody, and a deeply heartfelt welcome to each and every one of you that has chosen to take your time out for this very, very, very special program. Today's program is more than just a perspective or a way to gain clarity on what happened with Operation Sindur. It is also our way to offer our love and gratitude for every soldier who fought at our borders across the land, the ocean, or the sky, so that you and I could sleep in peace. For every mother who kissed her son's forehead and let him go. And for every torchbearer who lit the path of clarity amongst the cacophony in social media that we all were part of. So we'll start this morning's program with an invocation. I invite Ikshika. She's a Chinmaya Yuva Kendra member to please render the invocation.
Hari Om, can you hear me? वंदितो कृपाला प्रथम तुला वंदितो कृपाला गजानना गणराया प्रथम तुला वंदितो विघ्न विनाशक गुणिजन पालक विघ्न विनाशक गुणिजन पालक दुरित सुखारक तू दुख विदारक सुखदारक तू दुख विदारक तूच तुझा सारक वक्रतुंड ब्रह्मांड नायका वक्रतुंड ब्रह्मांड नायका विनायका प्रभुराया प्रथम तुला वंदितो कृपाला प्रथम तुला वंदितो कृपाला प्रथम तुला वंदितो. Thank you.
Thank you, Ikshika. Thank you for invoking Lord Ganesha so beautifully. Thank you again. And welcome again to all of you. This event is called Kritagnyata. And Kritagnyata, in its truest sense, is more than just gratitude. It is remembrance, and in a certain way, it is reverence. It is a quiet bow from each of us to the very soul of this nation. And who or what makes the soul of this nation? It's all those soldiers or every person who unflinchingly carries the responsibility of upholding this nation, whether it be on the battlefield or in spiritual halls or in moments that never make the headline. That is what today's event or this program is about. This program is a salute and ode to people like that, to people who you're seeing on your screen. In the backdrop of the recent events that happened with Pakistan, we are reminded once again of the invisible shields that protect us, of the men and women who bravely stand at our borders, in our government offices, in front of TV screens, in spiritual halls, and fight to hold this nation together only because they can, because they will, and because they must. Because their lives are nothing but a love letter to this country. Today, we have this sacred privilege of being in the presence of three such remarkable individuals who embody Desh Bhakti, each a reflection of India's clarity, of India's strength, and India's spirit. We have with us a warrior in the skies whose calm courage has lit the way for generations. We will soon be joined by a soldier whose life has been a living classroom of grit and grace. And also, I think he has just joined. Welcome. Welcome, Madanji. Can you hear us?
Madhanji, namaskar. Yeah, unmute
Namaskar,
mic.
namaskar, everyone. Jai Hind, Jai Hind.
Uh, Rohini, continue.
And last but not the least, our very own dear teacher, whose every action, every teaching, and every breath is also a big love letter to this country. So, dear friends, welcome. Welcome to this program once again. And I hope to remind you all that this program is not just about what we hear from each of these distinguished leaders, it's about what we remember after and what we do with all that we hear from this, what we carry into our homes, and most importantly, what we carry in our hearts, in our actions, in our day to day lives. This program is a tribute to the spirit of Bharata, a silent gratitude we all hold for all those who serve it with every breath. We'll start this morning's discussion with Swami Mitranandaji. He is the resident Acharya of Chinmaya Mission, Chennai. Swamiji, as we fondly call him, is a modern day Rishi who magically blends the ancient Vedantic wisdom with fierce contemporary relevance. He's a visionary and a powerful agent of change. Through decades of spiritual mentorship, through conducting youth empowerment journeys and thought provoking talks across the globe, Swami Mitrananda has helped redefine, chisel, and bring out the potential of 1,000 and more youngsters. He leads by bravely living a life that is rooted in Dharma and fearless in service. He speaks not from theory, but from experience of having walked the razor's edge of discipline, detachment, and absolute devotion to his teacher. Swamiji, I request you to address the gathering.
Namaskar to everybody. Samasta Jana Kalyane Naratham Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Satgurum Brahmavitvaram. My first gratitude to Varthaman sir and Madhan sir. Thank you so much for being. You people have been a great inspiration, and this is a very humble offering from Chinmaya Mission to worldwide audience to know what actually happened and how these things happen. In our Chinmaya Mission pledge, my Guru Swami Chinmayananji has said, service to the country is the service to the Lord of Lords, where Desha Bhakti is connected to Deva Bhakti. Serving the nation is equivalent to serving the Devas. Service to the country is the service to the Lord of Lords. Look at the depth of that line, and he has made us pledge this line every day. So this is part of Chinmaya Mission doctrine. And we have two beautiful people, Vardhaman sir, who has personally met Gurudev in Ooty and interacted with him. And his family has been with us for a while. His children, who are illustrious kids, have been part of our Balvihar. For those who do not know what I'm talking about Abhinandan, the illustrious son of Bharat, is the illustrious son of Varthaman sir. And they have sent these kids to us in Balvihar. So I'm very happy. At that early stage of few years, there was a connect with us, and it is so, so joyful that these people have shown their devotion to the nation, which is equal to devotion to God. And Madhan, who's here, Major, you have been an inspiration. You have generated nationalism in Tamil Nadu. There is nationalistic feeling in Tamil Nadu, but it is dormant. Time to time, we need somebody who will invoke that, bring it out again and again. In that, you have played a tremendous role, speaking to people on crucial subjects in the local vernacular language. And today, I request both of you to speak to us about Operation Sindur, whatever you deem fit that you would like us to hear and share. That would be wonderful. And actually, I'm 25 kilometers away from the border right now. I'm sitting in Amritsar. I just brought a small group just to see, like in 1971 war, we had in Chennai, we had blackout drills. I remember that, but this generation does not know, particularly people living in South. So I said, we'll just come here on our way to Himachal Pradesh. So I'm here for 2 days, right at the first town from the border. So the place itself is a great inspiration. And to listen to both of you today is our privilege. I leave it to Rohini. You take this forward further.
Thank you, Swamiji. I think Swamiji's already done most of the part of the introduction, but he's right. We have two illustrious guests with us who will be sharing their understanding, their perspective on Operation Sindur, from a nationalistic perspective, from a social perspective, what it's done to us as a country, from an international perspective. First up, we have Air Marshal S. Varthaman ji. He's a defender of the skies, an architect of calm in chaos, and a torchbearer of legacy, as Swamiji rightly said. He stands as a towering symbol of India's strength and strategic foresight. With over 4 decades of distinguished service in the Indian Air Force, he has held some of the highest command positions and was instrumental in shaping India's defense preparedness during critical times. But beyond the medals, which he has even with him right now, and the missions that he's been part of, what defines him most is his clarity under pressure and his quiet humility and grace. As Swamiji said, he is a father to one of the nation's most celebrated modern heroes, Abhinandan. So Air Marshal Varthamanji not just embodies the kind of dharma we discuss, but he lets it pass on from generation to generation. He lets selfless service become a generational duty. And that is something we are very grateful for. In a world that often celebrates noise, he reminds us of the true power of being calm and that true leadership does not have to be loud. It's steady, it's rooted, and it's honorable. His presence here is not just an honor, it's an absolute blessing. So welcome, Varthamanji. We're so honored to have you here. Please do share us your perspective on what happened.
Namaskar, Swamiji, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for the very nice words, Rohini. I will live up to your expectations. Pleasure to be on the same panel as Major Madan. I'm hearing such nice things about you. Keep up the good work. We are really proud of you. And I see a lot of ladies and gentlemen. I even heard one who's got up on a Sunday morning in Toronto. I don't know what time. It must be midnight now to hear to the talk. It is my honor, sir. It's my honor and privilege to be speaking on Operation Sindur. And today in India, you wake up a child. You wake up a child in the morning or any midnight and ask that child, what is Operation Sindur? I'm certain he will rattle off all that we in Bharat have done in the last 10 days. It is something that we have to be very proud of. It is what you call a very crucial moment in the growth of our nation, where we as a nation can stand by itself, follow a strategic isolation, and follow what is good for the nation, and yet be supportive in our mantra of Vasudeva Kutumbakam. Now, what I will do is, I think everybody really knows about the operation as such, the nitty-gritties and the innumerable discussions that are ongoing on all channels and WhatsApp and everything. What I would like to stress more on is what is happening to this nation and how this nation has got together as one. The last time I saw this nation getting together as one was when Abhinandan was in Pakistan. We just got together. We were one unit. And whether you are of any religion, every mosque, church, temples was packed with prayers for the safety of Abhinandan. I saw that. That's what this nation is capable of. And today, we are in the same situation. So while I talk of a little bit on the operation, I will also talk on this nation building which we have experienced in the last 10 days. And I will leave it to Major Madan to talk on the nitty-gritties of the war as such. Everybody talks of the diversity of our nation. And so many religions, so many languages. You drive 200 kilometers, and the food changes, the taste is different, and there are thousands of dialects. And this is the diversity of our nation. When we look at this diversity, we have to look at where is this country situated? What diverse enemies that we have around our country. There is a saying, you cannot choose your mother, neither can you choose your neighbor. So we have neighbors who have no friendly intentions to us. On the west, we have Pakistan. On the north, we have China. On the east, we have Myanmar. And we have a Bangladesh that we created, which has a lot of animosity towards us. We have Sri Lanka, we have Maldives, and we are surrounded by nations that do not have a good intention for us. And forever we need to be careful of what we do. And when we look at the borders, there is no country in the world which has so many 1,000 kilometers of active border. If you look at the borders, there is 7,000 kilometers of international border with India and Pakistan, which is live. Throughout 365 days of the year, it is live. And our army is sitting at the highest peaks to the deserts to everywhere where anything can happen. And in many places, there is constant firing which is going on. And then we have a coastline which the modern instruments have recently measured about a week or 10 days ago, which is 10,000 kilometers of coastline. So we have 10,000 kilometers of coastline. We have 7,000 kilometers of border, which is all the time on the boil. And we have to live in this area, in this region, and yet prosper. And how beautifully India has done it. And that is what I will stress on. If you look at any country, I've lived in Europe, and you go to America, where is the enemy? There is no enemy. You're living in peace and quiet. There's nobody threatening on your borders and nobody firing across you. But we are suffering all through the year, 365 days a year, and yet we are prospering. So that is what I will stress on. So therefore, when you have such volatile borders, we need to have a military that is strong and capable of handling the external threats as well as the internal threats. So we have the Army, Air Force, and Navy, and we have the paramilitary forces, the ITBP, the BSF, and we have the internal security with our police and other organizations that we have. And this force makes sure that despite the volatile environment that we are living in, we are able to live a peaceful life. You and I and everybody else is able to pursue your ambitions, your dreams, and achieve them all. That security is provided to all of us. So what happened? On the 22nd of March, we saw what happened in Pahalgam. I mean, nobody ever can imagine that you can be so murderous, so barbaric, that you can kill the fathers or the husband in front of their wife or their children. I mean, this is absolute barbarism. And we are witness to this barbarism, and obviously, we had to take a decision. And we had to take a decision to ensure that our citizens are safe, innocents are safe, and that they can go on their honeymoon or go on tour or wherever it is in peace and security. So therefore, we knew that we are going to react, and the Cabinet Committee on Security headed by the Prime Minister met the very next morning, and decided to take a few actions. One of the actions was that we will retaliate. We will hit terrorism. We will hit it at the very roots so that we are secure. That was one of the decisions. And the other decision was, of course, to take control of the Indus Water Treaty. And we said that we will handle this part, and we will use it to the waters of the 6 rivers. We will use it to what we are. It is useful to us, and we do not care whether Pakistan gets it or not. I thought it is a brilliant decision, and I think after the military operation that has happened, we will find that the Indus Water Treaty, to my mind, will actually turn the screws on Pakistan as the weeks go by, because it really hits, in the stomach, and it will hurt Pakistan very badly. All that we need to do is make sure we stick to what we want to do with the Indus Water Treaty. Now, we said it is an act of terrorism that somebody who is from across the border comes here, isolates you, kills you on the name of religion and whatnot, and conveys a certain message. But the world does not recognize that this is terrorism. There is not a single country in the world which has said it is an act of terrorism. They said some militants came and hit. So there is a completely different meaning of what the word terrorist is or a militant is. And including the UN Security Council did not call them as a terrorist. Now that is the saddest part, and that is the world that India lives in. And that is why all the decisions that we have taken is in the interest of our nation, security of our nation, and really we care two hoots as to what the rest of the world thinks of what we are doing. We are not here. Those decades have gone where we were all wondering, what does America think of us? What does Russia think of us? What do Europeans think? We care two hoots. We look after our nation and our security. And it is time that you all towed the line. Now, what did we do on the 7th of, the Prime Minister made it very, very clear that we will retaliate. And on the 7th and early morning of 8, we launched an attack on 9 of the militant bases. A beautiful direct hit, a surprise. In 25 minutes, we wiped them out in the 9 militant stations. And immediately in the morning, our foreign minister, along with 2 brilliant women officers, came up on stage and said, what did we do? We said, we are defending our nation and we are hitting those who are going to come and threaten us, and those are terrorists. We did not touch any military. We did not touch any infrastructure. We did not touch any civilian in Pakistan. We have only precisely hit militants, and it's over. And we said there should be no retaliation, and we have done with, we have avenged those who have hit us in Pahalgam, and we are hopeful that these terrorists will not come back and threaten us, and it will be a deterrence for the future. And we said, as far as the operation is concerned, it's done and dusted. That's it. But unfortunately, Pakistan retaliated. And they retaliated launching hundreds of drones. And they were certain, after having seen the recent wars between India and, between Russia and Ukraine, and what happened in Azerbaijan and Armenia, that the drones will make a huge impact. In fact, the drones won the war in Armenia. And today, it is creating havoc in Ukraine and Russia. But they did not realize the ingenuity of Indians. We were ready. And the way we handled the drones, 90% of the drones, we shot them down. We finished them off before they could come and hit the targets. And we're talking in hundreds, 800, 900 drones over a period of time, and at times an assault of hundreds of drones. And where Swamiji is today, Amritsar has lived. I think all the Amritsaris would have seen the kind of drones that were swarming close to Amritsar. And those citizens of ours, brothers and sisters, have witnessed the kind of density of attacks that were launched on our country. So we retaliated and we hit precisely. Once again, when we were so precise and we were so accurate that we hit the chosen target within a couple of meters. When today they say, I think everybody knows the BrahMos. Everybody knows the scalp or the storm shadow. We know the spice. And these are weapons which you can hit, like a BrahMos, you can hit from 300 to 400 kilometers and hit it within 3 meters. That is the kind of accuracy. That means if somebody is sitting next to you and is 3 meters away, it will hit either him or you or somewhere in between. That is the kind of accuracy. And we hit accurately, and we hit where it really hurt Pakistan. There are so much of information coming out with satellite imagery, which shows what kind of destruction that we did. And the next night again they launched, and we hit again. And there is an accusation that we hit the nuclear facility. In fact, the nuclear weapons are stored in the hills in Kirana, which is deep into the tunnels. It seems we hit the mouth of the tunnels. Now, I really don't know what the truth is. But whatever it is, it brought Pakistan to its knees. And they were crying for peace. Not only were they crying for peace, the international community led by the United States were crying for peace. And this is where I think we really came out victorious, because everybody said, enough is enough, stop. Okay, that is one side of the war. And finally, there is a major dispute as to who has called for a ceasefire and all. It's not relevant. And it's really not relevant who jumped and called. The fact of the matter is the Director General of Military Operations of Pakistan called up and said, let's have ceasefire. And they broke the ceasefire thereafter. Again, we launched the attacks. And finally, we have some kind of a ceasefire. And we have not called off Operation Sindur. Operation Sindur is just paused. This is very significant for everybody. You all must know the war is not over. It is just paused. So we can exercise the button anytime. Now, the name Sindur by itself, what symbolism? I think it's what you call master stroke of symbolism, naming it Sindur after what happened in Pahalgam, and bringing our brilliant officers, the army and the Air Force officers, to come and be in the what you call international briefing for the next 2 days. I think it was brilliant symbolism. We have really arrived. I think it was a mighty proud day when we, got up in the morning. We heard of Sindur, and then we saw this briefing. I think it took the breath away, not only of all of us. We were all very proud. I think it stunned the whole world. Now, is it a just war? Yes, it is a just war. We believe in that dharma. It is just because we are hitting that terrorist who is going to come and kill innocents. It is a just war as well. Anything after that, it was only defense, because Pakistan launched attack on us. So when we are talking in this forum, we are following Swami Chinmaya. We need to be strong, and we need to be just as well. And I think we followed that dharma of a just war. The targets initially were only militants, and after that we went on to other targets. The destruction is available on satellite, and you can see the kind of accuracies that we had. Now, how did this come about? This shows the industrial strength of our country and the ingenuity and the coordination or integration of the Army, Air Force, and the Navy. All these work together to make this brilliant operation a success. And this is a success which, for generations together, we will talk about this miracle that happened. Now, what is this ingenuity? The ingenuity was developing a secure air defense system which stunned everybody. And this secure air defense system, which handled those hundreds of drones and missiles, were integrated thanks to our scientists and the military, the DRDO, the military, Bharat Electronics, ISRO, everybody put their mind and brains together to develop such a beautiful system, which today everybody raves about Israel and its Iron Dome. We showed something indigenous which was out of the world. So that is our ingenuity, our industrial strength. We produce so many drones from the private sector, from the public sector, and we are churning it out, including in Chennai. I'm at least from Chennai. It's being churned out by the tens and hundreds from here. That is our industrial strength. And this industrial strength is what is going to show in the years to come. How self-reliant we will become. Now, the tri-service integration is a matter that we must say a salute to the Army, Air Force, and Navy. The tri-service integration for the first time in any war that we have fought was something remarkable. And there are many strategists who talk about it, and there are other countries that do it. I think we did it brilliantly for the first time. And each one was integrated with each other, and we fought the war. Today, you hear of what the excellence which the Air Force did, and then, of course, the Army did. But nobody hears about the Navy. And the Navy barricaded Karachi. There couldn't be a ship that could come in or go out. And in a matter of few days, Pakistan would have been gasping for fuel. They wouldn't have fuel to run anything, to fly, because they just barricaded and they secured the waters around Karachi silently. So this is how the three services integrated, and that's something which is very, very, we need to be very proud of. But out of all this, did you all see the national unity? How this nation got together? How everybody got together, and everybody, whether it's the media, whether it is the politicians, whether it is social media, everything, nobody went against us. Not a single politician got up and commented anything during those 3 days. Those 90 hours, not a single politician. That is what makes India great. When there is a threat to our country, the nation unites as one. And our politicians are always bickering, but they all kept their mouths shut during this 90 hours. Today they're woken up and they are back to their own thing, but that's perfectly okay. That is what is a vibrant democracy all about. And that's what we should also be proud of. But during this operation, 3 days, we were united and we remain united. And that's what makes the difference for the guy who's fighting at the borders. The nation is with him. Everybody is with him. And he will give his life to make sure this nation is secure. Then what is soft power? We are talking of soft power nowadays. Now we talk of Bollywood as soft power. We talk of so many things. Today you see what Turkey is going through. Did anybody tell the citizens of India, don't go on your honeymoon to Turkey? Don't go on your destination wedding to Turkey? Don't go on your tours to Turkey? No. The Indians decided. That is the soft power. Each and every individual decided that I will not go to Turkey because he is anti-India. This is soft power. And it's going to be a matter of a month or two, we will see Turkey down on its knees. It will hit them where it really hurts. And so for Azerbaijan. This is national unity. This is how we all need to get together to win and be a powerful country. Now, rest of the world does not believe what is going on. They have their own interpretations, and none of it is in favor of India. That's what it is. And frankly, we don't care about it today. But all said and done, I think the government has taken a brilliant decision to send an all-party delegation to all over the world. Okay, to go and talk and interact and tell them what is this terrorism all about? What is it to live in an area where there is always somebody wanting to kill you? So this all-party delegation, which is going to go out next week, is going to make a difference. And hopefully, the world at large will realize what we are fighting us and how just we are. During all this, we have our own stand. The India stand is very good. We are not with US, we are not with Russia. We have that strategic isolation. And we follow what is good for our country, and we have established that. And today, every country says, hey, that's India, and he will do what is good for him, and they are balanced. So we are not with anybody else, and much as what President Trump or anybody else says, frankly, we are not interested in it. The zero tolerance to terrorism is something which the Prime Minister talked about after the Sindur, and he said that we will retaliate and we will hit. And as far as we are concerned, we will retaliate and kill the terrorists is war. And as far as the Indus Water Treaty is concerned, it is in abeyance. So that's what it happens. The question of nuclear deterrence, every time when there is friction and the temperatures are rising, Pakistan says, anything we get hurt and we are reaching a situation where our nation is in danger, we will use the nuclear power. We have killed it once and for all, forever. They cannot use this blackmail forever. And we will, so it gives us, no, I wouldn't say the right, opportunity to hit where it hurts anytime. We are a vibrant democracy. Today, you're saying, you see many politicians speaking so many things. But we have gone through the crisis. We have come back with flying colors. And it's time for us to learn lessons from this. And also for all of us as citizens, what should we do? So that I will end with saying, what should each one of us do? First and foremost, do not, go into any hate posts on the social media. Much as it was an attack on Hindus at Pahalgam, this country did not go into religious battles. We did not. That is the foundation and the heritage and the culture of our country. Nobody got after Muslims or anything. Not a word was said. And we all must be careful while using the social media not to spread these things around. Do not believe hate mails. Do not believe all the kinds of messages that they are coming on social media. And for heaven's sake, don't forward it to others. We need to have a secure nation, and it's a duty of each and every citizen of ours to maintain peace and integrity of a nation. Thank you. Bharat Mata ki Jai. Bharat Mata ki Jai. Bharat Mata ki Jai. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Varthamanji, for bringing so much up. I think that 1 week of what happened, you're right, stirred a lot of emotion in a lot of people. There was not one friend that I knew that was okay with what's going on. And so thank you for reminding us of how this was almost a war of many firsts, of the many forces, of the three forces, armed forces coming together, of the country standing up, of those women doing the briefing, and of how we all came together. So thank you for reminding us and for also giving us a direction of what we should do in the future. So thank you again. We now have Major Madan Kumarji, who will be speaking to us. He is also a great warrior, a visionary, and almost holds the voice of this soil, I would like to say. Major Madan Kumarji's story is one that belongs not just in biographies, but in the heart of every Indian who has ever dreamed of service beyond self. He was commissioned into the Indian Army in 2003, and after graduating from the prestigious Officers Training Academy, he served with distinction for 6 transformative years. And it was during these years that his spirit was forged in fire, of discipline, of decisive and deeply committed to the tricolor of our country. But his service did not end with his uniform. After an impressive stint in the corporate world, he chose a different kind of battlefield, one where he could awaken minds and rekindle patriotism. Today, through his talks, his writings, his rural outreach, he continues to serve India not with weapons, but with words, with wisdom, and an unwavering will, with unwavering love and unwavering dedication. As a speaker, mentor, and the son of the soil, Major Madan Kumar reminds us that Bharat Mata is not just an idea to be admired from far off. She is to be served. She is to be lived for. And if need be, she is to die for. His presence on this panel is not just symbolic, it's absolutely sacred. So thank you so much for joining us, Madanji. Please share your words with us.
Unmute him, please.
Yeah. Thank you, Rogni, for such nice words. Thank you, Mitranandaji. Thank you, Marshal Varthaman, sir. So, sir, and sir has been so humble, not in terms of actually giving the entire success story of the Indian Air Force. This is one of the battle which was fought. So all I would say, I would try to cover a few other points which the nation needs to know, all of us needs to know. Operation Sindur was just a military success. It was a made in India showcase to the world. We showed what India means. Always remember, India didn't borrow power. We built it, we deployed it, and we won it. So let's start with something called, when the social media went crazy, there were a lot of people who said, we bought S-400s. That was a needed one. There was American pressure. We went against US capital sanctions. We bought S-400s. But we forgot to celebrate our own heroes, which is the Akash missile defense system. I would recommend you all to hear Prahlad Ramrao-ji, who is the brainchild of Akash missile system. Because what the current generation tend to do is we derive inspiration from Mark Zuckerberg to Tom Cook and whatnot. We have plethora of people whom we take as inspiration. But personally, I would like to introduce these hidden heroes who thought way, way ahead of time. And today, Akash Missile per se has got a fan base, I would say, a customer base of almost 17 countries. 17 countries have approached us in terms of Akash missile system because it has gotten 100% hit. Nothing failed, literally nothing failed. Then I would like to introduce you to a company called Alpha Technologies. It's a startup from Bangalore. They gave something called a Sky Striker, which Pakistanis could never even imagine in their dreams. A one which travels 40 kilometer optoelectronic. It carries a load of 25 kgs of weight, and it just can't be intercepted. We just showed them, as Rajnath Singh ji said yesterday in Bhuj, it's just a teaser which we showed them what we are capable of. It is not even 5% of what we can do actually. As Vardhaman sir said, they sent hundreds of drones. It's called the concept of swarm droning, where literally puts people and your AD systems under pressure. We never did it. We just sent around 26 odd drones. It went and hit the Hindo. I would say, I would not be dwelling into the details. All I would say is, we went to the house and we knocked the window. So that's how precise it was. And in an interview somewhere in December in a TV channel, I said if India has to do something about terrorism, we need to hit the heart of terrorism, which is Bawalpur in Punjab province in Pakistan. When I was in service, when I was in Rashtriya Rifles way back in 2007 and 2009, so a few of the terrorists who were caught by us, who was apprehended by us, when we searched them, they have a literature which originates from Bawalpur. So unless or until we hit the root, this thing keeps coming up. The number of people who get radicalized from that country, which lacks identity. Sometimes they assume themselves as Persians, sometimes they call themselves as Arabs, sometimes they call themselves as Turks. Their identity is misplaced. So we can't keep eradicating those radicals who come in, the terrorists who come in. But eventually we need to do something. Precisely that's where we hit. Markaz Subhanallah, a masjid complex, which is like 15-acre complex, which housed the most wanted terrorists in the world. And in a given point of time, there were almost 500 to 600 students. They call it as a religious place. It's not a religious place. They train terrorists there. It has got a swimming pool. It has got a gym. It has got a weapon training center. You name anything of a modern military academy, it has got everything. We had knocked, if at all precision after picture, you can see that picture, we hit the center of that place and we took on 14 family members, the terrorists of Masood Azhar, who did the parliament attack, who did the, Kandahar hijacking. I see it one for the entire world was celebrating the Millennium New Year that time. So we took, and subsequently all the 9 places where we hit, it was all the most wanted, or I would say either it's a terrorist base, it's a recruitment center, it's a launch pad. So we chose our targets. When we speak about our Air Force, when we speak about our army or capabilities, always remember on 22nd of April, when the Cowards did this something which is dastardly, which is not relevant to the current in any form of human sense. 100% everybody knows that I would have shifted my terrorists to some safer place. From April 22nd to May 7th, just imagine the kind of intelligence we would have to locate that place precisely. Just imagine the amount of intelligence effort. Intelligence is the most first of us thing. We have human intelligence, we have signal intelligence, we have tactical intelligence, and we have satellite intelligence. Nobody, if this operation would have been undertaken by US or Israel, they would have made at least 5 movies by now. There would have been a Netflix series celebrating it. Unfortunately, we are very poor in marketing ourselves. So we didn't do it. So precisely, the intelligence service did an outstanding job, just outstanding. If it had hit a civilian population, for example, on a collateral damage, some children or women would have died. They would have made that as a poster and have showed that world that India is an aggressor, India is Israel, and Kashmir is Gaza, which they tried narrative. So hats off to our intelligence network or intelligence agencies. They did a fantastic job in identifying where to hit. Then comes when to hit and how to hit. So all the tri-services chief went and met the Cabinet Committee of Security, Sir said. So we took our chances and then it was presented to the Prime Minister and the CCS members. And that's the time you had heard a very open statement that they have given a free hand to the forces. So free hand means a lot. I can fire a Agni, I can fire a BrahMos, I can send a drone. I have, plethora of options of how to hit my enemy. So that's where they got the things places put together. One thing we also need to understand, we have already announced that you are going to hit you. And we are going to hit you at various places. It's not going to be, Balakot where we send in fighter jets, wing commander, then wing commander, Rajendra went there, he shot down a F-16. It is going to be at a multiple scale. But people were impatient. When are we going to do it? When are we going to do it? We are weak. We are not like Israel. We should have struck immediately. So one humble suggestion to all of us here, let the forces do what they should do because they know it better than any one of us. So in my channel, when I used to narrate what's happening, how are we going to prepare, because the nation has to be prepared for such a massive military action, the nation has to be put together. We all need to stand in one line. We have to voice in one voice. So that was what was happening between April 22nd to May 7th. In the run-up of it, the current generation is very impatient. It's a real generation. You need everything instant. It's not an instant coffee, but it's a coffee which was well served, to Pakistan. So then after, we expected them to retaliate. It was not out of textbooks. We expected them to retaliate. In that air combat, 85 of our fighter jets were up in the air. And then Pakistanis had around 45 fighter jets. This is the highest pitched battle post-World War II. Nobody has spoken about this because this kind of intensity, this kind of air warfare with air dominance, a lot of other, I don't want to go into technical detail. So what India did was 2 things. One is to surprise your enemy. We sent a dummy aircraft, which they thought that it's a real aircraft. They were trying to shoot it down. On the process of shooting it down, they gave away the location of their radar and missile defense systems, AD systems, which is called HQ-9, which is made in China. Eventually, it proved that it was made in China. In 2021, during a seminar in Delhi, when this system was getting discussed, everybody was actually concerned that China has built something of this sort and we are nowhere close to it. And they are giving it to our enemy, which is Pakistan. So we are kind of need to, maneuver this. We have not hit the missile system. I mean, we have not hit the missiles which the HQ-9 fired. We have hit the HQ-9 itself. Now, what happened? What happened? Where we all need to put together. There are lessons to learn. Everything is not a rosy picture. Is somewhere the Pakistanis made a news that they have shot down some Rafales. And the next 24 to 48 hours, the maximum number of calls I got, my phone was buzzing non-stop because of my media presence, the interviews, our own channel. I need to communicate right things to the people. It's not that giving a rosy picture. It's about giving the right information to people. Everybody was speaking about, have our jets been shot? Have our jets been shot? We bought so much of money. With Rafales were bought in. How can it be shot? It's not a video gaming or a PlayStation where you shoot one, I shoot one. It doesn't work that way. Later on, Marshal Varthaman sir clarified it. We have achieved our mission objective. If the ship has to be safe, it has to be in the harbors. Similarly, if an aircraft has to be safe, it has to be stay in the hangar. When you are up in the air, the pilot always takes the last years and moves up. So never ever get bogged down by such new information, because in that 48 days of narrative, we actually lost. We actually lost the narrative. We were winning the battle on ground, right? I would give you an example. In 1961-71, the war started. In the first day of the war, within 12 hours, India lost 20 of its fighter jets. 20. Right? So this is the mission, the assets, war mission, soldiers, some amount of civilian population. The current generation need to understand how the war works. We will have collateral damage. We will have to shed blood. There is no war in the world where you go, fight a battle and come back and crash. So then after we struck them back, this time we struck their military bases. The very special one was Lahore, which is the closest city from our international border, where we completely disabled their HQ-9 systems. We destroyed their radars, which eventually means any aircraft which takes off from Lahore, it's on its own. India can shoot down at its will, and we can just march inside Lahore. Nobody can literally stop us. So we showed them this, this is what we did, and one more step, we are going to do this. On the 8th night and the subsequent night, we saw a swarm of drones coming in. This is where our missile defense system worked. And as Varthaman sir said, it's not one missile system. See, we need to understand. We bought a fighter jet from France, and our chunk of our fighter jets were from Russia. We bought missiles from US, Britain, Israel, and France. We have our own indigenous missiles like Akash, BrahMos. We went back and we took a gun from the museum, which is L-70, which is one of the oldest air defense systems, which we bought way back in 90s and 2000s from Sweden. Those were kept in the museum. So there is a company, Tobo Imaging, in Bangalore. You have already retired, a machine. It's something like an RX-100, 100cc two-stroke bike, which is like, kept as an antique piece. So this company said, we will do something about it. The army got together. They gave the concept of what is need to be done. So they made an exclusive imager, thermal imager for it, built in and software with artificial intelligence, fitted that with that gun, and now the gun is on its own. We shot down a very expensive, hyped Turkish Bayraktar TB2 drone, which is worth crores. By using this gun, one round of that gun costs nothing less than, it's less than 500 rupees. Okay, that's where we win. Ingenuity, we call it in Hindi, we call it a jugaad, right? It works. You don't have to go for ultra modern high systems all the way and, where the Americans work. We have showed, our youth has showed that something can be made, and that too in just matter of 1.5 years. Impossible. I have all respect for Americans and their education system, the universities, their knowledge, the wealth, but it is all imported. Eventually, there's a startup company which stood up for the cause, and it has been tested right in the battlefield. All those drones were shot down. And then we again launched a counter drone attack, where we used our missiles, that's BrahMos. We used a couple of other Indian-made weapons, completely Indian-made, made in India. It's indigenous. This is where made them shake. Noor Khan is the most protected strategic base of Pakistan. The level of security is just unimaginable. You can't just walk into that field. Even within Pakistani army, there are only certain amount of people who are allowed to get into it. Not even politicians can just walk into it. The way that operation was done by the Indian Air Force, it will become a case study for the other air forces to study in the coming days, is because there is a runway close to it, and in the runway there is a crisscross junction. The aircraft can take off from east to west and north to south. A missile hit exactly at the center point of the runway. You can't use either of these runways now. Now, if you want to save your nuclear facility, either you have to have some other aircraft landing in to rescue you, or you have to have some escape route from the fighter jets which was taken, which take off from that place. That's gone. Now, to identify what's coming next, there is an advanced warning system, aerial warning system, which they call it as AWACS. So they have a very high-end, sophisticated AWACS plane, which costs more than 1,000 crore. Now that's been parked inside that hangar. The crew were ready. There were three Pakistani Air Force officers and around 10 of their airmen who were there at standby to fly as and when needed. Now imagine we hit exactly on that aircraft and all the 10 people died along with the aircraft. Now imagine during the battlefield, how will I know in a strategic place like Noor Khan, which is a very wide 200-acre complex, this particular aircraft is here and the crew is standing next to it. That's where our intelligence capabilities stay. That's where ISRO comes into play. That's where all those private organizations which comes into play. We keep hearing this news, right? On and off, we have ISRO launching satellites. What exactly it does? We saw what exactly it did. And then there was one more missile which went and hit the entry point of it. The entry point of it. 10 meters down, Pakistan would have done one more surrender ceremony. But we as a responsible nation, we didn't do that. We didn't hit their nuclear facilities. We just hit the entry to tell you, boss, we are here. And we can come back again and hit at our will. Date, time and place of our choosing. So don't mess with it. Later, we had hit a place from land. Okay, earlier we have done it in 71 where we had hit Karachi, set the Karachi port on fire. The Indian Navy then did it. The port was burning for almost 7 to 8 days. Karachi is the lifeline of Pakistan. 90% of their oil and gas comes to Karachi and 65% of their trade comes to Karachi. Now that's where Navy went and did their trick. In fact, Navy was upset that we should have been given a chance to go and hit them. The Navy is the strategic asset. We don't use, our biggest strength for just such small reasons. So Navy, what eventually did is they did a forward deployment. They went close to the international border. They were just 75 to 85 nautical miles away from Karachi. And no single Pakistani ships, submarines, and nothing was out in the sea. They were all parked. They were trying to save their ships. In the meantime, we also had hit Karachi with our missile. Molir military station, which is a very, very important one. And we hit Rawalpindi. Rawalpindi, the place we had hit, is hardly a few kilometers, 3 kilometers from their GHQ, the Pakistan military headquarters. Now they are planning to shift it from Rawalpindi to Peshawar. They are planning to shift their military headquarters. So what exactly we do is, we had all the systems coming from various different countries. The biggest criticism which people had on the Indian armed forces, especially the Indian Air Forces, why can't you buy homogeneous weapons? Why can't you buy, you buy iPad and then you suddenly go and buy a Samsung, then you go and buy a OnePlus headphone. So there are a lot of experts, in social media who used to give this advice. The beauty of this is all the systems were integrated. It's by a project called Akash Tir, Bharat Electronics Limited, completely built in a new platform. It's completely indigenous. It's standalone. It works in India. Everything from the lowest L-70 gun all the way till your Agni missile, everything is integrated. And what you see in a Bollywood or a Hollywood movie, where a group of people sit there and then watch in the control center, that's what exactly happened. Indian Air Force had released that picture. It's an integrated command and control center. For all of your information, I can operate. I don't have to be in the battlefield to operate this. I can do it from Andamans. I can do it from Tanjavur. I can do it from Gujarat. I can do it from Arunachal Pradesh. It's completely independent system. No other country has ever done it. Iron Dome, it comes with a cost. It failed when Hamas and Hezbollah fired around 6,000 odd missiles and drones into the territory. It failed, and people went into panic. Here is where we have to say, and our radar systems. We had the Swati radar system, which exactly locates the weapons. We had Dhruti, another radar system. I don't know why they all name radars in women's name. Every radar is always named by women because of their power to find out things far from far away. So hats off to all those people who had created these radars. It has been put under test, and there are certain amount of Indianness. The Bharatiyaness comes in. We just poked a pin. The enemy started shouting, and then we heard from where the voice is coming. And silently, the Indian Army was doing its job across LOC from 6,000 kilometers. Where I would specifically want you to, because it's not highlighted in the media much, South Kashmir, we have a heavy deployment of forces, and Rajouri, they are in the top. We are in the lower area of the hill. So generally, when something happens, you'll always see Rajouri. First day we saw this cowards went and bombed a Gurudwara. They went and bombed a masjid. They went and bombed a temple where we lost 17 of the civilians. That's because of the terrain. It's beyond our control. But where we exactly taught them a lesson was in Aknur and in Baramulla. The amount of firing was this much that they literally have to vacate that post in the border. They went to the rear post. That again was hit so badly. Now the ceasefire has been agreed. Even now they are fearing to come back. We said, okay, just come back, relax. It's done. One more time you do, we do it. So why? Because here's the amount of hit. I would say I've been posted in that area like Poonch and Rajouri. We had ceasefire violations in those days as well. One day of ceasefire violation where the volley of bullets, heavy machine guns, Pakistanis fire and we fire back. It's called combat stress. It's called combat fatigue. It took almost 5 years in my life post coming out of army to adjust myself with a Diwali cracker. It's that stressful. It literally puts you down. It gets you a tremendous amount of stress. It weakens your nervous system. It literally, the amount of battle stress that our soldiers have taken. Whenever you meet them next time in the airports, in the railway stations, you don't have to do a salute or this thing. Just smile at them. They'll feel happy. This is the amount of courage and determination which they had. Now comes to Aknur. Aknur is one place where we have something called a chicken neck. There is a place called Shakhtargarh Baj. Pakistanis always have a dream of capturing Shakhtargarh Baj and then eventually capturing the Aknur Bridge and cut off Poonch and Rajouri from the mainland, the Jammu Tawi River. Mundawa Tawi River. This time they did a massive troop buildup. So the Foreign Secretary, Misri Saab, said that possibly they are preparing for a ground operation. That's where Indian Army showed them again a trailer. It's not even a trailer, it's a teaser. 45 minutes of heavy firing, pinpointed targets. They have something called a drone brigade, which is a new brigade which they built in. And unconfirmed news, because this drones also requires expertise to fly. It's a first-person view drone. You need to fly it with a lot of expertise. I'm still not confirming it. It's unverified news. It's in open source intelligence. We killed almost 15, 20 of them in just matter of few minutes. They have to literally vacate their drone brigade and run away. We destroyed hell number of drones. And the unconfirmed news is we also killed 2 Turkish soldiers who are operating the drones. So Turkish per se, they have the dream of Ottoman Empire, Turkish 2.0, Ottoman 2.0, Erdogan being the Sultan of the Turkish Empire. So we showed them what we can do for their drones. All those drones, which was like, all those drones which were was taken off by our L-70s. We had anti-drone systems. We had counter-drone systems. They were literally clueless. On the final day, just before the ceasefire, I follow Chinese social media because to have the Chinese is a very closed and a stonewall country. We don't get to know very often how exactly what Chinese thinks. The first day of the war was like, the Pakistanis and Chinese shaking hands, and then they kind of celebrating. Pakistanis thanking Chinese. They post in Mandarin. They started singing Chinese songs, and this guy started praising them. On the third day, Pakistanis were with limited, because their social media was restricted for public. So with the limited information which they got from the real world, they said we are messed up and we are not winning this war, as their army chief and Shabash Prime Minister was telling. So they said it is because of Chinese weapons. We should have bought some good quality American weapons. Whereas if I see Weibo, the Chinese media, they well are saying that Pakistanis are idiots. They don't have education. They don't know how to handle our sophisticated weapons. So all those hype of, Chengdu Aviation Corporation, J-10, which shot down Rafale, which was inflated on 7th of May till 9th of May, the share prices increased by 36%. Good luck to them. You can now go and check Chengdu's Aviation Limited's share price. It has come down far further. The lie can survive for a few days. The truth eventually has to come out. So where we always need to learn is as a individual, as a citizen, what we need to do exactly is I have been a strong critic on this against the government of the day. They have been quite unhappy with me, but we don't have a strategy for information warfare. We really don't have it. We have the highest number of social media users in the world. One hashtag, if India decides to trend, it will literally collapse all those big 4 social media platforms we have. But unfortunately, our media, which is supposed to play this anchoring role of giving the right news to the common public, I stopped watching it 10 years before. If you go every second minute, there is a breaking news, and then people screaming to the hell. You feel that the war is happening inside your living room, inside your bedrooms. So that's where we completely missed out. I have a Pakistani friend who's a very good journalist who settled in US. So he shared something with me in '99 when the Kargil war happened. He said we used to follow Indian media to get some neutral and quality news and quality journalism. These days, your channels are much worse than our Urdu and English channels. That's a sad part of it. Every second minute, it can't be a breaking news. War reporting is an art because this reporting stays in history forever. If you look at 1971, that's 1971, the surrender agreement, every one of us, every Bharatiya would remember that, the general signing the instrument of surrender. Similarly, we don't have such memories in this digital age. We are in a 5G era, everybody has a cam. We completely misplaced it. We completely lost it. At one point of time, there is a one coin syndrome. A farmer goes to a lakeside and then the god appears on him. He says, like, I'm happy about the good work you did. What do you want? He says, I need gold coins. The god gifted him 100. He picked up everything while he was coming back to the home, and then he was happy to share with his family. And then they started counting. There were only 99. This guy was not happy about this 99. He went back. The entire family was so sad, so worried. They went all the way searching back for that one coin. So we typically have that one coin syndrome. Don't get into this air assets. We will have to lose. It's a battle. Enemy also has missiles. Enemy also has power. We also have. This is a damage which will happen. Eventually, as Vardhaman sir said, what is the end result? What we have supposed to achieve, we have exceeded that achievement. We have given them what they want. Now comes sir spoke about the other important decision. The main war on them is Indus Water Treaty. A lot of people comment me on social media that, we are farmers. I'm a farmer myself. Water shouldn't be stopped. It's for the common public. Those people are responsible for the country which they live in. They chose their government. They chose their army. And if blood flows in India, water will not flow. Both these things cannot flow together. We have lost enough amount of lives. Lakhs and lakhs of lives have been lost. You go speak to people in Jammu. We are comfortably in our living rooms. We are talking to each other. We are interacting. The kids are not able to sleep. They undergo a fear psychosis. Aaj drone attack hoga. What will happen today night? So let's not have this human rights, dignity, water rights. This is meant for humans, not for barbarians. Unless this country pulls up its socks, comes out of this, becomes a democratic country, we are open for trade, we are open for everything, but our policy remains same. So social media frenzy, we all need to unite and do two things if it happens in future. One, counter the fake narrative created by our enemies. As Varthaman sir said, this is not the time to tick on one religion, create hate, post something which is hateful, forward it, come and get into a slugfest in online media. Absolutely not required. We are one country. We stood together when Wing Commander Abhinandan was captured in Pakistan after shooting down F-16. I prayed to the God I believe. I prayed to Lord Balaji. Once he is back, I'll come and do a mundan. I shaved off my head 5 years before. I shaved off my bed again. So it is not that the guy who took me, the close friend of mine who took me to the temple was a Muslim. Then he said, I said, oh, you really want to wait out? You can wait, but it's going to take a lot of time. Do you really want to come? I said, absolutely no problem. I'll come. He signed the faith certificate. He showed his Aadhaar. He came in. That's the country we live in. Nefarious elements, fringe elements, anti-socials, this will remain. No country is 100% perfect. This will remain. But let's not take that, it creates a lot of panic. The third day when the drone attack was happening, it was actually not a military drone. It was a toy drone. They wanted to create fear. They wanted to create panic. Precisely, that's where the news channels were doing. And we were also in the tremendous panic. What will happen in Jammu? What will happen in Amritsar? Cancellation of flights and so on. So this is a time we have clearly told the world, yes, we have arrived. We are not just a soft, hesitant power which would always, want peace. Peace comes with strength. Peace comes with absolute strength. When Dr. APJ, the Bharat Ratna, the Bharat Ratna of India, was asked this question, don't you feel sad or guilty, doing this nuclear test and this powerful missiles? He said, if I want my country to be in peace, I need to be strong. Comes with strength. If I am not strong, it's up to my enemy to give that peace to me or not. So with this, I'll complete this time, which I think I slightly exceeded my time. Be proud. This is the time where I specifically insisted on made in India weapons. I can speak a lot, but time constraint. We are going to be the drone power of the world in 2030. We are expected to cross 12 billion of drone manufacturing in India. It's no more going to be China. Please don't believe in Chinese TikTok videos. Their planes have been shot down. Su-9, the most prized air defense system, has been completely decimated. We have destroyed the radars. If Air Force would have wanted, there are only 30 air bases in Pakistan. We just touched 11 in just a matter of 25 minutes. If Indian Air Force would have wanted, they would have grounded their complete Air Force in just a matter of two hours. So be proud, take pride. We don't want war. We are not a warmongering nation. But when it comes to the safety, when it comes to the honor of our nation, we will all stand together. We will fight till the last man alive. This country can never be destroyed. There are hundreds and thousands of attempts. General Dillon used to tell, Azar Gajni aaye, there will be 100 more Gajnis will come. We will continue progressing as a very strong, powerful nation. I thank you, Mitranandaji. I thank you, Madhan sir, to give me this opportunity to address you all. Thank you all. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Madanji. That was so inspiring. And thank you for such a balanced view, for awakening us to the indigenous potential that India has and used during what happened, and also to the effect of war that most of us don't realize on children, on the soldiers as well. So thank you for sharing such a balanced perspective. The space is now open to questions. We don't have much time. So if you have a question.
I'll start with one. Yeah. I have had a couple of discussions with General Malik, former army chief. I have met him a couple of times. He's been with many of our programs. He has always said, India doesn't start a war, we only finish it. Even this is a very age-old tradition of ours. We don't initiate attack. We defend. And when we defend also, we defend with a controlled aggression. If this controlled aggression comes, because in Mahabharata, in Ramayana, there are war rules. Where a war should be fought, how it should be fought, what we should cross, what we should not cross, who all we should not be touched. It's a Bharatiya tradition. And I see that happening even till date. Even in this war, Operation Sindur, this controlled aggression shows that we will win, we will teach a lesson, but we will have that aspect. Your comments on that, please.
I think sir has to
Unmute.
unmute.
Admin, unmute Varthaman, sir, please. One minute. Yeah, no. Who's that?
Admin has to unmute. Varthaman,
Admin,
sir.
please unmute Varthaman, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
I got it. Yes, Swamiji, what you have said is absolutely right. I want to say and maybe you have met the person in Chennai, Colonel Krishna Swami. Have you met?
Yes.
Yeah. So we have culture. It is our the culture is integrated into every Indian in our country. Maybe a soldier and an IT professional doctor. It is inside us. He talks of the Bangladesh war, and in the Bangladesh war, he got a Veer Chakra, and when he was a young major, and at that time they managed to surprise Pakistani troops which were moving, and he killed a lot of them. And the rest of the Pakistanis surrendered to him. And then he said, there are so many 20, 30 of your soldiers who are dead. Okay, give them a burial. I mean, he deserves that honor. Give them a burial. So the soldier, the officer turned around. It's not my job. You mean? I'm talking about the Pakistani officer. Then the junior commissioned officer, nobody moved. They didn't care about their dead who are lying there. So finally, Colonel Krishna Swami took a spade and gave it to his people also, his soldiers. They dug the grave and buried them. This is our culture. And at that time, the junior commissioned officer told Colonel Krishna Swami, if we had leaders like you, we would have defeated you. Yeah. See, in Kargil, the same thing happened. They did not take back their dead. We brought the dead and we said, take them back. He said, no, and we buried them. So when you talk of the culture that is with us and the traditions that are and what we Indians are, these speak miles, and like you rightly said, we could have been ruthless. We could hit it within 3 meters. We could have been ruthless, brutal, and hit them, hit their industrial centers, the infrastructure. We could have done everything. And many of our strategists talk about the same thing. Why didn't we do it? Why didn't you go to the conclusion? That's not our aim. Our aim was we wanted to finish terrorism and we have got it, stop it. And I thought it was a brilliant decision to take. No victorious army will stop like this. Is that dharmic war, like I'm saying, like I said earlier also, we will not do it. And when the 93,000 prisoners we had from Bangladesh, when they surrendered the Pakistanis, General Manekshaw has gone on to say, my Indian troops will go hungry. They may not have beds, but these 93,000 will be well fed. Each one will have a bed. I mean, we could have been brutal as well. So that's what India and we are all about.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Varthamanji. There is space for questions. You can put it in the chat box, or if you're on the YouTube live, you can leave your questions there as well.
So, Rohini, we've got a question. Is that true that Pakistani army tried to hit the Golden Temple? If yes, why was it specifically their target? The name of the speaker is not mentioned. So,
Madhan, you answer.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Yeah, there is a unverified news that they have tried hitting Golden Temple because which is the nerve of all our Sikh brothers and sisters. More than that, I'll tell you what exactly happened. Their DGISPR went on air saying that India fired 5 ballistic missiles on Amritsar Temple and put the blame on us. And they went to Afghanis, and they said India fired a ballistic missile on you, uh, deliberately. So it is to create a rift between India and Afghanistan, and also to create a rift between, divide on religious lines. We know what happened in Golden Temple way back in 1984. There is a bit of scare which still is there. So they want to rekindle it. This is all purely information warfare. So this information warfare has reached you. That's why you are prompted to ask this question. Nothing wrong in it. In future, be rest assured, the Golden Temple, all our religious places, strategic locations, we have a 4-stage iron umbrella which protects us. We know what they think. We know their dirty minds. We will take care of it. Absolutely, there is no issues. But don't fall for the propaganda. That's more important.
So the second question is from a teacher. Why did we Indians question on the ceasefire? Wasn't this a golden opportunity to remove Pakistan from the map?
I think Sir has already answered. We all have a wish. The idea is not to finish off or wipe off Pakistan. Impossible. We don't want to get into a war of attrition. We know capturing territory in this modern world and modern warfare, it is too complicated. It will drain us economically. For those who are not aware of how things work during an active war, we were in a no peace situation, and there is a no war, no peace situation. We got into a war situation. But if war happens like Ukraine and Russia, which went on for 3 years, every one of us would have to contribute financially, which means our wealth and everything. Simply to put it, if there is a war situation, government can pass one government order to cut down pay of all of us by 30%. So let's not get into something. War mongering is easy. We want war. That is also good. But our objective is not to capture territory. The objective is to eliminate the terrorists, their handlers. We have done it. If they escalate, we will hit their strategic bases. We have done it. We have showed them and the world what our military power is. If they want to have one more round of escalation, of Sindur has been paused, as Varthaman sir said. Hasn't been terminated. We will see a lot of other things which we haven't seen earlier. Our enemies also better know it. When I say enemies, that includes China as well.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. There's a question from Chinmaya Yuva Kendra member. Some Indians were caught for spying recently, listening with the Pakistan High Commission. How do we treat these people in our country?
You'll have to tell whom you're asking, huh? Yeah.
Sir, there's no specific speaker mentioned,
Madan,
so we request.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, I think there is a YouTuber, very famous YouTuber, travel vlogger who was caught by the intelligence agencies. I think her name is Malhotra. These things too do happen. We have a very strong laws to deal with it, espionage and stuff. So we will go with it. I saw a lot of comments on social media. They should be hanged. They should be. We are not Arab world. We have laws. I know it takes some time, but we will have to go as per the law. And we have very strong laws. And I'm again saying we have a very strong intelligence agencies to keep track of it. 140 crore people, you don't expect everybody to be loyal. Certain people do it for money. It's one odd cases. We don't have to worry.
Right. One more question. Our armed forces have shown dominance over Pakistan's military force, yet international media is biased towards its reporting. How can we set the real narratives without compromising on our strategy and security?
We really don't care. You see, the days of caring of what people are
Others
are telling about is over. So we know our capability, we know our strengths, and no country, including I would like to say the US, we are becoming very powerful, and we might become, in the future a competitor. So nobody likes it. So this is even in normal life, you'll always find this kind of envy and a threat that you could be in the future. So I don't think we should bother about it. just do what we have to do
That's
and make sure what we need to do, we do it with will and determination. You know?
right.
Hmm.
Thank you, sir. So, Varthaman, sir, this question is specifically for you from a student. From geopolitical standpoint, what message does Operation Sindur gives our neighbors apart from Pakistan?
To our neighbors. No.
To our neighbors, yeah.
No, it has got nothing to do with politics. In the sense, as far as the other countries, for instance, Bangladesh is today very anti-us. They know that when it is necessary, we will hit. So today we have hit. We stopped their trade coming in. We have hit it already today. And we have our own ways to do it. When you talk of 1.4 billion population, it is a strength. It is not a liability. And we are a market. Today we said we will not take anything from Bangladesh. We stopped their clothes and everything else which comes in. It will hit. And they know that this nation will become, will be ruthless to whatever you do. I think we have set the template rightly. Nobody is going to take chances with us. You see, Maldives has already crumbled. Okay.
Right, sir. Thank you for your inputs.
Yeah, we are closing time.
Right, last question, Swamiji.
Okay,
A
go
very
ahead.
interesting question they would want to know is, when will the POK be part of India?
Do we really
It'll come
want?
on its own. Sir.
I
It'll
don't.
come on its own. Sir.
Yeah, but I have another opinion on that. Really, do we want? I mean,
Yeah, that's something, sir.
we have to, with great difficulty, we have built up Kashmir and the economy is growing. And then you get another liability and you have to rebuild it. It's so poor and backward. It's a huge liability. And for a nation which is growing at today at 7%, it will pull us down straight away. It will pull us down. Let us look after our own Indians first.
Yeah.
And let us all be above the poverty line. Then we can think of anything else.
Okay.
Frankly, it will be absurd to go and take over a liability.
Thank you, sir. Over to Rohini.
Yeah, 1 minute. To Vardhaman sir.
Sir,
Vardhaman sir. Yeah.
Swamiji, sir, apologies for interrupting.
No, please.
One request to all members of Chinmaya Mission, to the people who are watching this show. One humble request from my side, or from the behalf of the Armed Forces fraternity. The one thing which our country lacks is a veteran hiring program. A lot of our soldiers retire young. Mostly we tend to see them as security guards. Absolutely no. They can fly drones, they can fly aircrafts, they can do any possible thing. They are the greatest disciplined asset any workforce would really want to have. US asset, we have Western countries having it. So I humbly request all the leadership, corporate leadership, entrepreneurs here to start your own veteran hiring program and start hiring these veterans. It's not that you're giving a re-employment or doing a favor. It works both ways. They are one of the most disciplined and the talented workforce. So over to you, Swamiji. Thank you.
Oh, that's a very, very, very powerful suggestion, and certainly we will look into it. Thank you so much for suggesting that. I'm extremely grateful, and the only thing is, time to time about India's strength, we need to hear from authentic people like Madhan and Vardhamanji. The more we hear from the authentic sources, the amount of confidence this nation feels is very high. So I would suggest probably we should have these kind of interactions with the Chinmaya Mission following more often. And it will really give, and through YouTube, of course, everybody else will also have access to it. So my suggestion is we should connect more often so that we understand. Otherwise, as a layman lost in his own world, he's not able to understand the strength of India. And like Madan, you were saying about Dr. Kalam said, strength respects strength. And if we listen to it from strong people who knows it, I think that would be very helpful in framing our opinions. Otherwise, something trends to two trolls come out strong and people start doubting. Even I have to call Vardhamanji the other day. I think I called you on 7th night. I said, sir, tell me, I'm restless now. I need to know what is happening. So need to hear from the right sources to understand it. Thank you so much for your time, both of you. We truly appreciate, and we would like to be in touch. This was like in a hurry, we have to do it online. More, we will do it in Chennai in our auditorium, a much bigger program. And we will implement some of the suggestions, like particularly what Madan said of hiring the veterans, surely. Yeah, Rohini, you can close it now.
Thank you both. We are very, 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 very grateful, as Swamiji said. Kritagnyata is not a one-off program to just say thank you. It's a way of being, of remembering, and of bowing our heads again and again and again to all of you that protect, uplift, and awaken us with all that you do. Jai Hind and Hari Om. Thank you so much for attending.
Jai Hind, Hari Om.
Hari Om. Jai Hind. Hari Om, everybody.
Yeah.